airlines have quietly changed both the process and the rules for checking in luggage at the airport. Some of these changes are good, some of them are bad, but at the end of the day, all of them are changes that you need to know about before your next flight. The first change is one of the biggest shifts that we have seen across airlines over the past decade, and there is a 100% chance that you will not like it. No major U.S. airline includes free checked bags with economy tickets on domestic flights, and many don't include checked baggage allowance on short-haul international flights, like those between the US, Canada, and Mexico. The first mistake is not knowing this and assuming that your flight ticket does include a free checked bag. Even Southwest ended their Bags Fly Free policy in 2026 and now charges $35 for your first bag. And other major airlines that have been charging for checked baggage for a while now, like Delta, United, American, and JetBlue, all went ahead and quietly raised their fees by about $5 per bag in the past year. My friend learned this the hard way on her recent flight from Newark to Cancun. She assumed that international flights included one free checked bag because they used to in the past, but in this case, her assumption was wrong. And that's $40 for each flight, as in $40 to get the bag to Cancun and then another $40 on her flight home. Yikes. The price to check your bag is typically going to be the cheapest at the time of booking your flight, and then it's going to get gradually more and more expensive as the date of your flight approaches. It will be the absolute most expensive if you show up at the airport and you haven't prepaid for your check bag. Paying for it at the airport is going to cost you. When you are booking your flight, you are often going to see these package deals that include a check suitcase, but also include things like seat selection or priority boarding. Now, these packages are going to cost more than just paying for your ticket and adding on a checked suitcase. I call this the bundle trap. So if you don't care about all of those extra perks, then definitely skip that section in the booking process. And as you get further along before you pay for the flight, you will often see the option to just add the check-in suitcase. The second mistake is not knowing about faster check-in options. Many travelers wait in these long check-in lines to check their suitcase in because they don't know they have an alternative. Many airports now offer self-service bag drops and curbside check-in. For example, Bag Drop Shortcut is a free service at major US airports that lets you check in your bag in about 1 minute if you've already paid for your allowance online and checked in for your flight through the app. Another example is United's digital prepay and tagging, which lets you prepay baggage fees, print tags at kiosks, and head straight to the shortcut lane without waiting in line to see an airline agent. It's great that you are watching this video and learning that you often have other options apart from just waiting in that long check-in line. You might get to the airport, be short on time, and realize that your only option if you want to make the flight is to do something like self-luggage check-in or curbside check-in. Let us know down in the video comments if you prefer the entire airport experience to be automated or if you would rather have a human speaking with you, checking you in, scanning your ticket, and answering your questions. I see pros and cons to both, so my preference is to have automated systems, but then have the support of a human whenever needed. And while you're down there in the comments, don't forget to hit subscribe as it's a free way to support Ollie and I, as well as his little sister Bear, who will occasionally be on the channel. She is such a good girl. The third mistake is missing airline check-in cutoff windows. This is when you arrive at the airport to check in your bag, but you're too late according to the airline's automated system. Airlines can also change their check-in cutoff time at any time, which makes this even more important to stay on top of. United and American both moved up their domestic baggage cutoff from 30 minutes to 45 minutes before departures in 2025. This means that if you try to check in your bag with less than 45 minutes until your flight's departure, the system automatically locks agents out completely, which means they literally cannot help you even if they wanted to. But checking your suitcase in too early creates some problems as well. When you drop off your bag hours before your flight, it's going to sit in a holding area instead of being transported directly onto the plane. During this time, it's potentially unsecured and vulnerable to theft. There's even a possibility of it being left behind when it comes time to load the plane. The sweet spot for dropping off checked bags is 90 minutes before boarding for a domestic flight and about 2 to 3 hours before boarding for an international flight. This gives the airline enough time to properly process and load your bag while minimizing the risk of it sitting around unattended for too long. The fourth mistake is forgetting to collect your checked bag at an international connection. On many international itineraries, you must collect your bag after your first flight, clear customs with it, and then recheck it before you catch your connecting flight. Skip this step, and your bag stays behind while you continue on to your next flight without it. Always ask this specific question when you're checking in your bag. Is my bag being checked all the way to my final destination, or do I need to pick it up during my connection and recheck it? The good news is that this is not nearly as confusing as it sounds. I remember being so intimidated on my first international flight with a connecting flight, thinking that I would never know where I was supposed to pick up my bag, or thinking that I would forget to do it. But when it actually comes time to do it, you will see there are a ton of other passengers doing the exact same thing. You simply follow along, and then there's almost always someone that's able to help you, even if that someone is just another passenger that happens to know the process. You got this. The fifth mistake is checking in a poor quality suitcase. I once bought a $30 rolling suitcase at a Vietnamese market to transport a few extra souvenirs home. Bad idea. To absolutely no one's surprise, except for apparently my own, that suitcase did not make it in one piece to my final destination. I basically picked up a broken box off of baggage claim since it had a massive crack down the side, as well as 3 missing wheels, and then I dragged that broken box all the way to my house. Don't be me. Baggage handlers deal with thousands of bags daily under a lot of time pressure. They are not gentle, and a cheap suitcase can't withstand the dropping, the throwing, and the stacking that happens during normal handling. A good suitcase costs more upfront, but replacing a cheap suitcase every few trips is going to cost you more in the long run. A good suitcase also removes the stress of wondering if your bag is going to make it to your final destination in one piece. The next mistake is overstuffing your suitcase, and this one cost me a $200 blender as well as several other belongings that I'll never see again. It was also quite embarrassing. I learned this lesson the hard way when I was determined to cram a full-size Ninja blender inside my check-in suitcase. The blender did not fit, but it was expensive and I was determined, so I crammed it in there, which I definitely should not have. My suitcase had exploded at some point during the trip and it never actually made it to baggage claim. An airline agent helped me recover some belongings, but everything was pretty much destroyed, including the blender. Overpacking also puts your bag at risk of exceeding the airline's allowance. Overweight bags come with high overweight baggage fees that can set you back an additional $100 to $200 at the airport. Airlines can get away with charging such high fees since they know that you have limited options and you're likely going to pay for it. Or worse, yes, it could be worse. You could end up not being able to check in that suitcase at all, regardless of how much you're willing to pay. There are certain size and weight limits that airlines will just not accept. So if you end up at the airport with an oversized or overweight suitcase that is just past their limits, you will not be getting that suitcase onto the flight, which means you will probably not be getting onto the flight. In addition to trying to navigate complicated luggage rules in 2026, something else that makes absolutely no sense is trying to get mobile data on your phone when you land in a new country. Data is absolutely essential, and this should be a simple process, but it's not. Public airport Wi-Fi can be so slow that sometimes it won't even load your email. And using your home phone plan can lead to crazy roaming charges if you are outside of the country. Standing in line at a SIM kiosk after a long flight when you just want to get to your hotel also kind of sucks. Not for me. Which is exactly why I use today's video partner, Saily, and why you might want to, too. You download the Saily app before your trip, and inside the app, you choose your destination, pick your data plan, and then click to install the eSIM. When you land at your destination, it connects and there's nothing else that you need to do, which means you can step off the plane, call an Uber, pull up directions, and message your family that you landed safely. That's it. When you land, it connects. You can get 15% off on a Saily data plan by downloading the app and then using the code Megan at checkout. You can also scan the QR code on the screen here. The seventh mistake is packing banned items inside of your checked suitcase that trigger a TSA airport security search. This mistake causes TSA agents to open your suitcase, and they often won't carefully repack your items. Many travelers don't realize that TSA actually scans every checked bag going through a US airport. If something looks suspicious on the scanner, they will open your suitcase and they will search it. It's just like when you go through the TSA airport security process and they catch something and have to go through your bag. Except in this case, you are not there to watch them do it, and you are not there to repack your bag. Items completely banned from checked luggage include spare lithium batteries, power banks, e-cigarettes, some cordless hair tools, and household items like bleach and spray paint. The lithium battery restriction tends to be a point of confusion, and I even had to look it up quite a few times just to understand it myself. It's good to know that lithium batteries are typically allowed when they are installed inside of a device and that device is powered off. Most phones, laptops, and tablets take lithium batteries, so while they are technically allowed in a checked bag since the battery is installed, airlines strongly recommend that you keep them in your carry-on suitcase or your personal item bag due to fire risk, damage, or even the potential of theft. One major exception to phones being allowed inside of your check-in suitcase would be the Samsung Galaxy Note 7. This is one phone that is banned from all flights worldwide, and it cannot be packed in your checked suitcase or even in your carry-on luggage. TSA officers are actually required to leave a note inside your suitcase if they did open it up for an inspection or a search. So if you do open your suitcase up and you notice things are not how you packed it, or you notice anything is missing, there may be a situation of malpractice. Is that the right word? Anyway, or a situation of theft. Baggage handlers, airport staff, TSA officers, and a handful of others all have access to your suitcase once it's been checked in, so it's no surprise that checked luggage theft continues to be a problem. I've done a complete deep dive on how to prevent theft from checked bags in this video, which I'll put on the screen here, as well as link for you down in the video description to watch next. Don't forget to hit subscribe to join Ollie and me back here for more travel tips and hacks each week, and we will see you in that next video soon. Bye. You may also get to see Bear. I think she's hiding by the door at the moment, but she's there.